I'm eating a banana.
It looks like a good banana.
It's perfectly ripe. Do people eat this tip part that's kind of black?
I sometimes leave it, depending on the quality of the tip.
Watch out for that tip, you know what I'm saying? Or not. Or not.
Or just eat it. Eat
Then
the
I
whole
have-
thing.
I have these little bits of dark chocolate that I supplement it with.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying not to eat on the mic. But so there's this thing that I heard, which is not my joke, but people try to explain about sex, and they say the difference between having protected versus unprotected sex. And, the difference. And so the comedian said, there's not really a way to describe it except for the difference between cheese and melted cheese. Like just imagine just a slice of cheese
Yeah.
versus like melted cheese on nachos.
I get what he's going at. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like if you just put cheese on chips and ate it versus like one's obviously
Yeah,
better. Yeah,
molten cheese is amazing. So
yeah.
I'm now making a comparison of melted chocolate versus regular chocolate. Like if you bite chocolate and you chew on it and it crumbles into little pieces because it's cold, that's actually just kind of gross. But if you put it in your mouth and you let it melt in your mouth, that's like next level.
Wait, so you're talking about stuff that cold chocolate and chewing it.
Don't chew chocolate is what I'm saying in general.
What about a chocolate bar? When you're popping a piece of chocolate, you're popping a piece of chocolate into your mouth.
Yep, just let it sit in there.
What
it
about if
melts.
it's got like some nuts in there or something, or maybe it's got some caramel in there, or maybe it's got.
Caramel is liquid.
But I feel like it's like you're chewing.
Yeah, like if
There's
it's
some
a
experience.
Tootsie Roll, you can chew it. That's not chocolate flavored, but just raw dark chocolate. Like, just let it. Like you can like bite it, but then like afterwards, just let it melt in your mouth.
I feel like while you're chewing it, it's melting in your mouth too.
Nope.
Depends on the type of chocolate
it
as well.
tastes,
Like
it tastes different.
you are savoring it more in that way, but I think there's some chocolates
It's not
that
about
are
savoring.
designed.
It's about flavor and texture.
But some chocolates, it seems like they're designed to be more mouth feel.
Like
more
M&ms.
chew.
That's M&ms are bullshit.
Not M&Ms.
They're all the
I
same
mean
flavor.
Even chocolate
Why
bar.
are you even having different colors?
I have no idea. I have no idea why they would do that. Maybe I think the only reason is to make you think that they're Skittles.
Oh, because the Chinese government.
Yeah, the Chinese government wants you to think that M&Ms are Skittles and Skittles are M&Ms, and they want the world to just break out into chaos where everyone's like, "What?"
It's the same colors. It's the same shape.
Yeah, they're just a little
Different
bit
letters.
thinner.
Just different letters.
Yeah, and if you're not paying attention, you just
That's tragic.
you don't know what you're getting.
I
You're
think
preparing.
I think Skittles are much tastier and probably worse for you.
It depends on how I'm feeling. I feel
Sour
like.
Skittles, God.
Those are good.
Oh my God.
The coating sometimes bothers me though. Do you ever get that like?
I don't eat candy
like-
anymore, so.
I hate when you bite onto a Skittle. I mean, well, think back to when you had Skittles, right? And I think this can even happen with M&Ms, but less often. But you bite one and it misses. It misses and you don't get that perfect crunch, and it goes and it slides, and you go, oh, you miss.
Oh.
Ah,
But when you
I don't like that
when you
sensation.
do bite a sour Skittle and it fractures into a bunch of little pieces and then you do hear the crunch.
That's satisfying. That is a satisfying feeling, but I don't like it when it slips. When it slips on the teeth, I'm like, oh, even just thinking about it.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I just can't eat candy anymore.
It's you'll be healthier for it.
No, yeah, I mean, absolutely. But I just had so many cavities, dude. So many cavities. But there is this quote that's related to another quote. So the original quote was, "Nothing tastes better than skinny feels."
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm adapting that to say, "Nothing tastes better than being healthy feels." So that's very important because, there's something tasting good as a feeling, but then also feeling good after you eat something is also a feeling. And feeling good after you eat something, like, I think traditionally I was brought up to think you eat a big dinner and then you feel kind of lazy after, and that's normal. But that's not true. You should feel good after you eat stuff. And I've heard people in their 40s talk about eating donuts and feeling really shitty after. Like, if you're feeling shitty after eating something, you got to recognize that. Doesn't mean you have to stop, but you got to recognize, like, is it really worth feeling bad? And I've decided that it's not worth it.
I think I'm at a stage where sometimes it's just too worth it because
Yeah.
like,
At least it's a conscious choice.
yeah, because sometimes you eat something that's bad for you, and in that moment, it's like, oh man, this is good. And sometimes it's weird because if it's something that's real shitty for you, you're gonna feel it. You just know. And even the last bite, sometimes, for instance, I'm not the biggest fan of Cinnabons, but they're pretty good if you're really craving something like that, like a pastry kind of thing. That's the worst pastry you could get.
Okay.
Most filthy pastry that you could possibly get. But you're eating it, and the first few bites are like, oh my god, what is this? And it's like, oh. And then you get sometimes even halfway through, and you're just like, oh, this is not as good as I remember it. And the last bit, oh.
Yeah.
Not good. Not enjoyable.
Especially if you get the cream cheese icing, that's just, they really failed on that.
Yeah, that's way too rich. It's just too much.
Don't call it cream cheese. Even if it is cream cheese, that just sounds terrible.
A cream cheese frosting. It's hard to make a good cream cheese frosting. You really gotta put in some effort to get that going.
And you could eat a Cinnabon and feel bad if you want. But it's all about, there is getting into a certain rhythm that your body expects with a certain type of thing that it's used to doing. The body likes to work in patterns. The brain likes to work in patterns. So if you're eating Cinnabons, let's say you eat Cinnabon once a week, your body gets used to that. Your body optimizes its production of chemicals. It optimizes everything around the Cinnabon once a week. And you become very familiar with it. And if you then choose to do something different, your body doesn't know what to do because it was used to the Cinnabons and all that stuff. So then your body's craving something that you're not giving it, and it has a very good mechanism for convincing you to then eat another Cinnabon because that's what it needs.
I don't think I couldn't eat a Cinnabon every week. That would just I would be so miserable. Like when you go to get a Cinnabon, the thing is you go knowing you're not gonna go in another 2 months, 3 months. You're not gonna have one in a long time. You're going in.
But it's Cinnabon, it's ice cream, it's sour Skittles, anything.